Knees. It's so hard to work knees. So I put together some ideas for you. I'm hoping I'm done in 10 minutes, but the chances of that are slim. So first of all, knee rotation. It's good to, and this is not necessarily the first thing you want to do, but when our knees are weighted, they'll only flex and extend. But when they're not weighted, they can do circumduct. They've got so many different things that they can do. So I think it's almost like willy-nilly, that let the knee also loosen up as well as working it and strengthening it and encouraging range of motion. So I just wanted to throw that one in. I have seen people use that in a seated position with an ankle weight. Use a very light ankle weight if you're going to do it to create a little distraction. But definitely get everything in there that the knee can do. I like seated. For seated, I like this Wonder Board. The best one you can buy is through a company called Sprint Aquatics. Sprint Aquatics makes it all in one piece. It's molded in one piece, where there are others that are on the market, but they're like glued together, and after a while in the water, they stop working. Okay. Underwater photographers at University of Kansas found that when we do knee flexion and extension in the water, there's a little wobble during the flexion and during the extension. And that's because the knee is so inherently unstable. It's the most ligamentous joint we've got. So then there were some, after this research piece came out, there were some docs who said, okay, no more open chain knee flexion and extension. Well, what is walking except open chain knee extension? So we've got to have open chain. There are if you just tighten the knee up and move it, you can keep it on track. Make sure you don't do so many repetitions or so fast to make it destabilize in the water. Keep it slow so that it stays on track. And some clients will actually wear their knee brace into the water. Okay, so one thing that we lose function after knee surgery is knee extension. So how do we get that? One way is going to tiptoes. Standing on tiptoes creates knee extension. So consider that. Another possibility for that is to use a noodle. Well, both of these noodles are a little bit too buoyant for me. This one is an aqua jogger noodle, and it is for big guys. It'll hold them up. I can't use that. It'll make me float away. This one's a neck noodle, and I like it because of the tactile surface. But if you just stand on this and let the heel go down a little, you get the knee extension. So you can play with knees a lot with noodles. I think I'm going to jump to something that I wasn't going to put in maybe at all. Or squats. I'm going to talk about squats in a little while because they're so good for knees, but also I'm trying to get my feet wider here. Okay. So we can do deep squats and then press down. We can do this with feet apart. Feet apart is a little bit harder, or is a little bit easier. Feet together makes it harder. And doing it in the deep end makes it harder. One foot is easier, but one foot may be what you want for knees. This may be the exercise that you want for knees. If you're going to do this exercise, one, don't have the noodles side offset like this. We want, because it's going to be more buoyant and harder for the medial aspect. and easier for the lateral aspect. So you'd like to get the foot in the middle if you want it that way. Depends on what you're working toward. Also, if you press down in front of you, this doesn't encourage a lot of extension. So pressing down a little bit behind you is going to get more extension. And it's going to get you goosed by the noodle too. I don't know if you saw it. That was the high point of my day. Okay, so you want this to come down to full extension. Okay, after doing those with the noodle, you might want to consider have people do some on a stair, practice stepping up on a stair so that they step up and can straighten that leg, because that's one of the functions. If you're going to work stair stuff, then you want that leg to go forward as opposed to the extension I just showed you. Because this is where we need to have that strength in stepping up on a stair. Okay, knee extension, heavy concept. I love the heavy concept. Heavy concept is neuromuscular retraining, and it takes the effort from the more superficially placed muscles and puts it deep tissue. So if you're sitting down watching this, or if you're standing, if you lift your knee up, and then imagine that you'd like to straighten your knee, but you've got weights on your ankle and it's really, really hard to straighten it. Those of you with good proprioceptive skills will feel the effort go to the glutes. You'll feel it move into the core. Depending on if you're sitting or standing, you'll feel it in different places. But then we've got deep tissue muscles firing, and the last guy to get involved is the prime mover. So instead of the prime mover doing the work, the heavy concept makes it work from the inside out, which is what we want, because the more superficially placed muscles are usually compromised. Okay, we also have reverse heavy. So if you imagine that there's something wrapped around my ankle and the angels in the sky are holding it up so that I can't bend my knee, again, you're going to feel you'll have deep tissue muscles start to fire. And if you then pull it down thinking that the angels are really strong, you'll get the deep tissue muscles. I always have people not be able to do it first, so there's a proprioceptive trace in the muscle tissue, in the muscles that are supposed to be firing first. So the heavy concept and reverse heavy. Think heavy, and you can do it in any position. You can do it out here, you can do it in front of you, you can do it with the knee pointed down, you can do it with the knee pointed back behind. Any of these, use the heavy concept. It's a great way to get the knees working. Okay, squats. Squats are great, but first of all, make sure that the hip, knees, and toes are all lined up in the same longitudinal axis. Sorry, I couldn't think of another word. We want those squats to be working perfectly. The problem is, what happens is people do all their squats with feet apart. Well, that's fine, and they're two-footed stance. But that's not how we live. So we start with squats in normal position, then with both feet down, we switch weight over to one side and check squats there, and then check squats on the other side, then put feet together and check squats with feet together stance, then with feet together and both feet touching the pool bottom, put weight over one and then put weight over the other, and then you could progress to maybe 1 foot on top of the other and try one-footed. And then you can progress to one-footed with the other foot off the pool bottom. So play with the squats. Something new in squats, well, not too new in my age, new. Variable squats have become very popular in personal training. and the sun has come out enough that I need my sunglasses. So, variable squats are, to me, genius, because what they say in personal training is that there's no sport that just does squats. We do a squat, bounce the ball, and turn and push it up. But that's how we live too. So variable squats says that we need to change the beginning or the end, well, in a variety of ways. So again, we're going to go from a wide base of support to a narrow base. Change the beginning, change the start of it. Maybe you're going to be in a tandem stance and do it there and come up to the side. Maybe you're going to be in one-footed. Maybe you're going to be with one foot down and toes on the other foot down. Maybe you're going to be with a heel. Maybe you're going to be with one foot behind. Oh, that feels like a curtsy. Whatever, any of these are, it changes the starting position. Maybe toes are going to be pointed out, or toes are going to be pointed in. Or maybe you're going to be on the lateral aspect of your foot, or whatever. So you start in a different position, but then you change the core as you come up. Instead of coming straight up, even if you've got your feet in a different position, instead of coming straight up, you might tilt to the side, or you might lean forward, or you might lean backwards, or you might rotate. So play with that. Then arms. Instead of the arms, and lots of people do them with hands on their legs for squats, but instead of usually arms come forward on the squat and then they come up, no, then make it unilateral. Then make it circling on the way up. Then make it reaching across on the way up. Because variable squats, to me, follow exactly the way we live. Because I may not bounce the ball and then shoot toward the basket. Yeah, that would never work. But I do bend down and get stuff out of the dishwasher and put it in the cabinet over here. So I am doing variable squats when I do that. So it's very functional. Think about variable squats. Then turning skills. We need to be able to turn, and what happens when people turn is that their toes will be pointed in one direction, knee in another, and hip in another, and the guy in the middle is the one that takes all the torque. It's the one that has to absorb all the difficulty of that. So we need to teach people to turn completely, so hip, knees, and toes are all lined up in a line. And one of the ways in the water, it's easy because we're offloaded. We can just pivot and get everything turned. On land, it's harder. So instead, we create a lot of tension in the joints, particularly the knee. One way is to use the heavy concept with turning. Imagine that you want to turn over there, but there's some tubing around your torso and it won't let you turn. And when you start to turn that way, you turn from the inside out. Instead of, our problem is that we turn using our feet and our torso, our head, our arms. We turn with everything except our core. Our core catches up with us. Okay, so I also think lunges are great. Lunges are great for knees. Not just the knee that's lunging, but the weight-bearing knee. Watch that one too. So lunges are fine, except people have trouble with recovery. Everybody can do the lunge, whether it's out to the diagonal or it's out to the side or whatever it is. It's recovery, coming back to home, where our body's home is. So we need to teach recovery skills, and that will help with any lunging that we put into our daily living, that we can, after we lunge and we reach and grab that plate off the coffee table, that we can come back. And so we want to teach recovery from lunging. Another one would be some stretching. I'm going to check my note here. I'm good turning skills. Okay, so weight shifting also. If you use the heavy concept in weight shifting, you don't end up, what happens, and this happens predominantly with women, is that when we're standing with the grocery cart, standing in line, we tend to put our weight on one side. And when we put our weight on one side, our hip goes out further than anything else. And the toe stays forward, but the knee is in the middle, and it needs to be protected. So if we teach people to just weight shift, and if you squeeze the glute, not with your hand, but with the muscles, on one side, that pulls you over there. Then you get your hip, knee, and toe all pointed in the same direction. So think about using the glutes to direct the action. And it's not just glutes, it's going to be a glute hamstring connection. Then I want to show you a couple of stretches. And I could use a noodle or not. Okay, you can use a noodle or not. First, I'm going to do a quadriceps stretch. If people can't reach behind and bend their knee, put a noodle under the ankle. If it's a too buoyant noodle, it'll create some issues in the joint capsule. So you want to play with the smallest and cheapest noodle you've got first, and then go to the better noodles. Okay, so first we've got a quad stretch. Quad stretch, knees are together, knee is pointed down. And you will feel, if you have tight quads, you'll feel it on the front of your thigh. From there, we can go to a hip flexor stretch, where you hold the same position, but point your tailbone forward. As soon as you go into a pelvic tilt, you'll feel the stretch move into the iliacus and psoas. Also, a hamstring stretch, because hamstrings are tight from everyday living. We don't need to lean forward on a hamstring stretch. We want to, by straightening the knee, we get the best stretch for the hamstrings. So when people pull their knee up to their chest, that's not stretching the hamstrings. But if they pull it up and then straighten the knee, then they're going to feel it in the hamstrings. So we want that hamstring stretch. And probably a gastrocs will help. A stretch for gastrocs will definitely help with knees, because as soon as you pull your toes up, your knee is going to straighten. So you can do it in front, stretch it here, stretch it right under you, stretch it from back here, stretch it out to the side, stretch it across midline, so that you're getting, and part of this is just varying it so that your client doesn't get bored with just doing a stretch. Now we're just varying it a little bit. I have found that if you point your toe out, however, on my body, I lose the gastroc stretch. So it's toe pointed forward, and then just adjust the hip in a variety of directions. And you should be able to continue to get that gastroc stretch. Okay, I want to show you one more thing, and I need a person. Can I borrow you? Sure. Okay. I'm going to grab a collar. This is squats with feet against the wall. So stand facing that way. Can you get us? Thank you. I'm just going to put this light collar. Okay, bend down. Lean back. He's fine. Put your feet against the wall. Okay, now I would look up at the ceiling, sky. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands on her upper traps. I'm going to push her into knee flexion. And so some pre-weight bearing here for knees. Straighten your knees slowly. Push back, push me back. Straighten, straighten, more. Okay, so he's turning on, that's good. I need more flotation for her. Okay, I'm bending her again. So I'm bending her knees for her. And now straighten, push back with strength. Push. Okay, so pre-weight bearing. These are squats. Thank you. This is Michelle, my model. These are squats. Thank you very much. Squats in horizontal position. So we're getting the squats, but she doesn't have to be weight bearing. And I supply, with my hands on her upper traps, I supply as much resistance as she needs. It's a nice way to work the knees, but if you get, if the knees are really compromised, that puts the knees out of the water. And it's best, I think, to have the knees in the water. So if you want to try something like that, you might want to try it with mask and snorkel, face down. I'm not doing that to Michelle today. But I like that one too. So those are just some knee ideas for you. Use whatever you can and toss out the things you don't like. I hope you end up with something that helps other people. And thank you for helping other people.